Namo Amituofo Buddha. Hello everyone. So I received a few comments regarding to faith. So someone asked, how do I generate deep faith? So it's indeed not easy for people who just encountered the Dharma to generate deep faith in Amitabha Buddha. And different people may have different karma, different roots, and also different teachings may be suitable for different people. So there are actually a few other ways one can help cultivate deep faith gradually. So first is by practicing Nianfo. The more we Nianfo, the more we establish the connection with Amitabha Buddha, the more we will feel the energy, the assistance and the light from Amitabha Buddha. And in fact, Amitabha Buddha's Buddha nature is also no different from our own Buddha nature. When we recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, it also helps to activate our own Buddha nature. It helps to activate the infinite light and life within us. So this is really the other power. When we recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, we will feel the assistance and the great vow and power of Amitabha Buddha. So that is why we can practice Nianfo more in our daily life to establish this connection with Amitabha Buddha and to help us enhance our faith. And another thing is also by listening to Dharma talks and to study the sutras under the guidance of a good teacher. So sometimes it's really not easy to just generate faith without knowing much about the Dharma. So people talk about the 18th vow. So a lot of people may be a bit confused. What are the other vows of Amitabha Buddha? And what did the sutras say? Anything about Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land? So people's minds are not so pure and simple, and a lot of people, they may like to know much more about this Dharma to understand more in order to take belief in it. So that is why by listening to Dharma talks and by studying the sutras can also help us enhance our faith, can also help us to generate deep faith when we have much more thorough understanding of the Dharma. And the third is also by reading some of the rebirth cases. And so this is also the same by listening to Dharma talks where people talk about rebirth cases. So all the above can help us generate deep faith and also to find your Pure Land community, to find your Lotus family, to be with like-minded people so you are less influenced by other people's opinions who may not practice the Dharma or who may not understand the Dharma. So it is relatively rare for people who just encounter the Dharma and can generate deep faith automatically, immediately. If so, these people really have very good roots, really have very good karma. So for most people, it's really through gradual cultivation, through understanding more of the Dharma, then one generate deep faith and vow and practice. And someone also asks, how do we know if we have deep faith in Amitabha Buddha? How can we verify our deep faith? So this is also a good question. Think about if you really believe in someone. What does it mean to have deep faith in someone? It means that you really have no doubt in whatever the other person says, right? You believe whatever words he says. So having deep faith in Amitabha Buddha means that we believe in the vows of Amitabha Buddha. We believe in whatever Amitabha Buddha said and also what Shakyamuni Buddha said. We believe when we Nianfo, Amitabha Buddha will come and deliver us to the Pure Land. So by having deep faith, it means that you have no doubt, you have not even the slightest doubt. And this can be verified when we encounter maybe difficult situations in our life or even impermanence. Can we think of Amitabha Buddha immediately when we encounter maybe danger or impermanence, difficult, challenging situations? Can we just think of Amitabha Buddha? Can we think of going to the Pure Land? So if this can be our first reaction, the first thoughts that come into our mind, and also the last thoughts, then this really shows that we have deep faith. And also another comment about, but the Buddha told us to doubt everything, including his teaching. So how do we know if this is real, if Amitabha Buddha is only mentioned in a few Mahayana sutras? And how do we know those people who say they saw Amitabha Buddha and they are going to the Pure Land are real? So also a good comment on this one. So indeed, the Buddha encouraged us to think for ourselves. But please know that Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land are not only mentioned in a few Mahayana sutras. So in Chinese Pure Land Buddhism, we study the 5 Pure Land sutras. It's also for the sake of simplicity. It's not saying that there are only 5 sutras that mention Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land. There are in fact over 290 Mahayana works that talk about Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land. So it's not only a few sutras, plenty, lots of Mahayana sutras mention Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land. And including really big and important Mahayana sutras, such as the Avatamsaka Sutra, or also known as the Flower Adornment Sutra, which we will look at in our weekly Dharma talks in 2 weeks. We'll look at the last chapter, the practices and vows of Bodhisattva Samattabandra, which also forms one of the 5 Pure Land Sutras. So the Flower Adornment Sutra is the first sutra that the Buddha expounded after he realized enlightenment by sitting under the Bodhi tree, and he expounded to highly enlightened bodhisattvas in the Dharma realms. So we'll look at that chapter. And also the Suragama Sutra, which mentioned Amitabha Buddha and his Pure Land. And also the Lotus Sutra, which also mentioned the 3 sages of the Western Pure Land. So it's not only a few Pure Land sutras that mention the Pure Land, but lots of Mahayana works that mention Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land. So it's really not a coincidence. The Buddha really tried to point us to see the Pure Land, to trust in the Pure Land. And also, why should we believe those people who are near death and say that they see Amitabha Buddha and go into the Pure Land? So who would want to lie to anybody at the time of death? So it's understandable that people may lie when they are alive, but really at the time of death, there's no benefit, no sort of incentive for people to keep telling lies at the time of death. You're not going to have more money. This Dharma has been practiced in China for over 1,600 years, and we have really seen countless rebirth cases. And how could it be such a coincidence that so many people are telling the same lie at the time of death and also from different era? So really have no doubt that this is indeed the genuine teaching of the Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha would not lie to us. Amitabha Buddha would not lie to us, and also the people who have sought rebirth, they also do not have any reason, incentive or benefit for lying to us. So sentient beings in our world, we really like to doubt a lot, but with this Dharma, you can rest assured that this is really 200% of the Buddha's genuine teaching, and this is backed by countless rebirth cases and also by the clear words delivered by Shakyamuni Buddha in a lot of Mahayana sutras. So I hope I answered these questions, and I'll make more videos about faith, vow, and practice, so the 3 key requirements that will guarantee us attain rebirth in the Pure Land. Namo Amituofo Buddha. Namo Amituofo.